Hey offgoers, Muse here, and before we get into this week's episode of the Going Off podcast, I just wanted to apologize or explain a few things before you start listening to this week's episode. First of all, because of poor internet connection, the audio isn't as good as it normally is, and because I wasn't able to record the entire conversation, the last half hour wasn't recorded, so it ends kind of abruptly. But with all that, please enjoy this week's episode, a very special episode of the Going Off podcast. Hey there, offgoers. Welcome to a special episode of the Going Off podcast. As you may or may not realize by what's on your screen right now, if you're watching us on YouTube, that old rap critic is not joining us this week. He has prior engagements, and unlike last time, I am not joking. He actually is not here. Instead, we got special guest Rav from our review of his album Beneath the Toxic Jungle from, oh my god, a few months back. And
Hello.
Hey, there he is. There's Rav.
Hello.
It
is I.
We've been trying to figure out a convenient time, but really, like, crazy shit keeps popping up, and we haven't really been able to touch base. But luckily, we got him here this week. Unfortunately, it's not the three of us, but that's okay, because it tends to, when we get more than two people in a Skype chat, Skype kind of shits the bed anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
maybe it worked out for the best. So, Rav,
Yeah.
how are you
Hello.
doing?
I'm doing rather swell. I just had an avocado sandwich.
Ooh.
I feel energized. You know what I mean?
Well,
I feel
see.
ready.
You're gonna need it. You're gonna need
Thank
it. 'Cause
you.
I'm gonna grill the shit out of you on every possible thing.
I'm totally ready.
Sweet. So, for those who don't know, I guess you can deduct by if we reviewed his album on the podcast that Rav is in fact a hip hop artiste.
That is what I am. Yes.
Where are you from originally? I saw something on your Bandcamp, but I forgot where it said, and I didn't do the research.
Okay. No, it's all good. There's not much research to do, really. I don't really put out much information about it. But I was born in the former Soviet Union. Very like East Soviet Union, so what would have eventually become Kazakhstan as opposed to like Russia, and in a town that roughly translates as bag of sand.
Oh, okay.
So very glamorous beginnings, and
It's very Indiana Jones.
oh, it really is. Growing up with a single teenage mother.
Oh, okay.
And kind of this weird environment at a really weird time when the USSR, started collapsing, and nobody knew what the fuck was going on, and that's kind of, I came out the VAG there, to put it in a poetic way. Years down the line, we moved to Russia. My mother married a British man. He is my stepfather. I recognize him as my dad, even though she's not married with him anymore. They've since divorced. So thanks to him, we didn't have to live in the ghettos anymore. And I went to an American school and picked up this accent. I've almost completely lost my Russian. I mean, I can still speak Russian fluently, but I'm not as confident with it. I'd never attempt to rap in Russian for sure. And
I was actually just about to
Russian
ask if you could, like, if it came down to it, to like release an album in your native language, but it wouldn't be as smooth, I guess.
No, I wouldn't be right. Cause why would I like do something where I can enjoy doing it? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it'd be impossible for me to really do what I do in language with which I don't feel really comfortable rapping in.
I was gonna ask, is there a market in Russia? Is there a scene? Like, is there a hip hop rap scene?
See, I don't know. I feel like there is, because I did hear like some rap music, when you go around the city, you do come across music that is Russian rap, and it's kind of it sounded old school even back then. You know, it sounded dark, really old school. But it's nothing that I really ever picked up on or cared for personally. No disrespect to Russian rap. It's just that where I was growing up in Russia, in Moscow, there were like communities for people who weren't Russian people, who didn't speak Russian, you know, people who were American, English, etc. And these communities like lived together, and they were gated communities.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, they were real. You know, it's just sure you're protected, that nobody come in and rob you or kill you. And there's lots of skinheads in Russia, you know.
Oh, okay.
People. No, it's huge. Yeah, it's. I got chased down by skinheads once. No, it's so it feels really. It feels really weird, man. It feels like you're almost in America, but you're not.
Wild.
You feel like you're in America until you leave the gates, and kind of go like, huh, this is very much Russia, you know. Yeah, no, the way I came across music is, I think, the hip hop music. The hip hop music. Wow, I can't believe I said it like that. I came across the hip hop music when my grandpappy, when a friend gave me Midnight Marauders, a copy of Midnight Marauders by Tribe Called Quest, and in all honesty, it wasn't really my introduction to hip hop, because my introduction to hip hop was via Michael Jackson. But I don't really count that, like the features that he had. I never really looked at it the same way. Like when a Tribe Called Quest came on, especially that song Electric Relaxation. As soon as I heard like Q-Tip spit as a kid, I thought it was like the coolest shit ever, and I knew I wanted to be like him. I just wanted to be Q-Tip.
Wow.
And like that's it. I don't know, it's something about his voice. I just thought there's no one who can do it like this. This guy's the coolest person I've ever like heard of. This guy's my dad. I'm gonna be like him. One day I'm gonna be Q-Tip. And I used to like imagine in my head every time Q-Tip rap, I imagined it was me like on stage rapping his lyrics, you know. And so I don't know, that image in my head was so vivid and powerful that I kind of committed to following this path, despite like no one really around me giving a shit about that kind of thing. It was really like just my own passion.
Yeah, that was something I was thinking about, because when I was talking to Rap Critic before I had asked you to be on and everything, he was telling me that he wasn't able to make it because he had a prior dinner engagement, and he was saying it'd be awkward if I got up and told him, hey, I got to record a podcast, and then I would come back and have to explain like that whole thing.
Right.
As to like what it is, what the podcast is, what it's about. And yeah, I was wondering, like, do you have a kind of like double life like that, where it's like you have your like your passion and your entertainment and your art, and then there's like this whole other part of it, like this whole other side that like people might not know you do that?
Yeah, I think there's, well, I don't know. It's my life. The thing is, usually I used to be like super personal with my music, in the sense where I'd literally be telling people what's going on in my day-to-day life kind of thing. I was going through a Vicodin addiction at one point, and attempted suicide multiple times, and I captured that in music and put it out. And at the time when I was in college, it seemed like just I don't know, I wasn't overthinking it. I didn't really have a huge following or anything, you know. And over time, I think my music's changed in the sense where it's even more personal. It's more about how I perceive things and things going on in my head. But I guess I don't go into grave detail about like what I actually do in my life outside of the things I put out on record. I work an office job, 9 to 5. I test video games.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, I mean, my job could be worse, I guess.
Yeah.
And but it's still difficult, you know. Like people think you're just playing games, and that's half true. It's still an office job, you know.
Right.
And you have everything that comes with it, and trying to balance that with doing music, and I live with my girlfriend as well. We've been living together for about a year now, so I can't, like, I have to spend time working to make sure I can pay rent. I have to spend time with, um, with the pen and pad and making music and all that, because I have the passion. I don't want it to die, and I strongly believe that if you love doing something, you should always just keep doing it, to improve yourself, and to never kind of let your blade go, like, I don't know, break, and then there's just so many people I know who have rapped, gone away for a bit, and then they just couldn't rap so well anymore. They were just whack. So to me, it's important to just always rap, even if it's just like 1 or 2 lines a day.
Just to
And
keep
then also
yourself
have
sharp.
yeah, to just keep your pen sharp, and then also I'm trying to balance my personal life with my girlfriend. We both work office jobs, and we don't get to spend as much time as we'd like with one another, and we want to travel, so we try to do that. So it's becoming increasingly hard to really focus on the art, especially because sometimes I get this misconception in my head that going on Twitter and doing social media shit counts as me working on my music, but it doesn't. It's just kind of like, I don't know, a distraction.
Yeah, it's more or less just kind of like a social media presence to, I guess, remind people you're there almost, and to
I
just
know.
kind
I
of.
wish I was like Doom. Like how Doom has a Twitter account and it's verified and it only has like one tweet. It says Doom is not on Twitter.
Whoa! I didn't even know he had a Twitter.
Yeah, that's it. And he has like mad followers and shit. But that's the only tweet he's ever had. And it's like 5, 6 years old. And to me, that was the most like punk rock thing ever.
Yeah, that really is. It's like
Yeah, I was like,
it's
this
just a
motherfucker.
it's just a link to like a dead page. It's great.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, no, I'm not on Twitter, bye. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I wish I could do that. And but you really can't. And it sucks because you know how you'll watch like documentaries about like artists back in the day and how they struggled and how they were popping and all that. And there is no mention of social network, because there wasn't any. So you feel like, fuck it, man. I don't need social media either. Fuck all that shit, man. I'm just gonna focus on my craft, man. But there's just so much stuff out there that I feel like the least I can do is stay in touch with the people that are already listening to me. I feel like it's the only way they can keep in touch with what I'm doing. And I try to be as least like publicist about it,
Yeah.
I try to not discuss. I make an effort to not discuss music related shit on my Twitter, unless like I'm about to release something or I'm really hyped for something. But I used to do this like annoying thing where like, oh, I'm working on my next tape. Oh, this one's gonna be the good one, and it's just kind of like a cry for like, hey guys, is anyone listening? And and I kind of thought it pathetic. So now I'm actually enjoying Twitter because I'm just being a goofball, and just kind of a stupid idea comes to my head and I tweet it. That's it. It's just like a little diary where a bunch of people get to look into it. That's it.
It really helps to be, I guess, obtainable or seem, just like people will listen to your music and then they'll see you on Twitter, and it's almost just like because people will see you as an artist and they immediately put you on a pedestal of like, you're too good or whatever, but then they see you on Twitter and it's just like, oh, he's one of us, like he's just like us, he's on Twitter. And it helps not to, because I used to do that same shit. It would be like, my next video is gonna be this, and then it would take too long, and then people would be like, well, where the fuck is it? And it's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to give myself a deadline. It's like,
exactly. No, that's the worst type of shit. And also,
when it's out, it's out.
Yeah, exactly. And I also make an effort to like not be the dude who's like, who doesn't respond to a tweet. I try to at least like a tweet that's sent my way. I get tweets complimenting my music or telling me someone likes my shit, and I don't want to be that dude like, oh, I get so many of these, I can't reply to all y'all. I at least like shit. I try to respond with a heart or something, as much as I can, because right now I still can, and I really appreciate all these people who aren't here, because a whole lot of people are here. They're the people who are listening to me, I guess, really do connect with whatever I'm doing, and I'm not. My goal is not to get big, you know. That is kind of besides the point. That should never have anything to do with art, in my opinion.
Right.
Like the fame and stuff like that is, I don't know. It's like its own entity that I'm not really interested at all in. Some of my favorite artists keep a low-key profile, and I think that's the coolest shit, you know. People like MF Doom and Lil Ugly Mane, like, it's interesting to me how people can look up to them as gods and how dope they are and what kind of music they bring to the internet, and yet they do not have to reveal anything about their personal lives. They don't have to go and like milk this cow, you know. Like, I mean, Lil Ugly Mane could easily just start up a Twitter, keep in contact with all his fans all the time, make announcements, make a YouTube account where he's like, hey guys, just 2,000 more followers until 20,000 followers. Wow, guys, I just reached a milestone, 50,000 followers. Thank you. All this kind of stuff is just so different to, I think, the art of it. Like, it depends on what you're doing, but to me, as pretentious as it sounds, to me the artistic and creative aspects of hip hop and just music in general really matter. Like I tweeted the other day saying that the term content creator is like the most American and capitalist term I've ever heard, because it sounds like as if like it's a machine of some sort.
Yeah.
That's just producing content, as if there's like a hole that you need to stuff with content.
Yeah.
It's like nobody says, oh, the Renaissance period brought about some of the greatest content creators. You know, like you don't say, man, Radiohead, those are some fucking grade A content creators. And yet, you know, with YouTube and things like that, people are now throwing that term around, and I really don't like it. I feel like I don't like that term, and I don't like up and coming artists. Because up and coming famous person, maybe, but up and coming artist just is a strange term. You're never an up and coming football player if you're playing football with your homies. You're never an up and coming gamer if you game. Why are you an up and coming artist? Why are you not an artist? Because you're not popping? Because you got 20 followers on Twitter? Who gives a shit? People put too much, like, I don't know, time into like observing these numbers on this internet that runs on numbers and just numbers, and I don't know, man. It's real cold, and I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just ADHD, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah, I thought it was really douchey when, like, back in the day when I was like first starting making videos or whatever, they were just like, okay, either, like, I didn't really know what to call it, because it was like there was a small community of people who were doing online like video reviews of music and just trying to be funny and stuff like that, and it was like, yeah, okay, I guess it's just like an online review. I guess that's just what I'll call it, like a music review. But then then slowly but surely that term came in, and at first people were all like unanimous, yeah, content creator is really sterile and gross. And then just like overnight, everyone was just like, yeah, I guess I'm a content creator.
I guess that's what I do. I create content.
Just because it's so easy, like it's such an umbrella term, and yeah, it really does feel like when you say I'm a content creator, at that point, the visual I get in my head is a guy who just sits at home, and he's just like, I need content.
Yeah,
I need to
it's
be
like,
watching something, and you're like, okay, here, watch
yeah,
this.
you're regurgitating like MP4 files. I'm like, oh, there you go. I made you content to consume.
I need to
And
I need to satiate his appetite for content.
yeah, it's like
so gross.
content creator is the same as a stuff maker. Like it's not really.
Yeah.
Not a specific term, and it just don't sound right. What's wrong with just saying artists? I feel like YouTubers are equally artists as anyone else. I mean, you don't have to treat yourself as an artist, and a lot of people don't look at themselves as such, and that's kind of the beauty of art, you know? You're not bound by, like, rules, but maybe it's just, I guess the internet is like a strange, we live in a really strange time, you know? Where you can hear everyone's opinions. It's like before, it's not like anything changed. Everyone's used to have opinions, but now it's like we can read each other's minds. Like imagine going through a city and hearing everybody's thoughts, like at all times, and that's pretty much Twitter. That's exactly kind of what it is, and you start to become really aware of what other people are saying, so you start changing the way that you think. You start tweeting shit that you think will be funny to other people. What's gonna get you more retweets? What's gonna get you more likes, followers? What seems right? Oh, that seems characteristic of me, because you know I can be explained by 4 or 5 things, and that's who I am. I'm just a little pattern walking around, and people like when I do this, so I'll do that. But in reality, I just kind of think it's. I don't know. I think it's kind of ridiculous, and I think we will get used to it. I feel like in 10 years or so, people will stop taking internet people serious.
Yeah, I think it's aside from, I guess, just like people on the internet just becoming like the next wave of entertainers and artists. Like more and more people are finding their entertainment on YouTube rather than on TV, and people are listening to more music.
Oh hell yeah! I haven't watched TV in like 5 years.
You almost YouTube don't need it, you know. It's either...
No, you don't. You got everything on YouTube. You got better stuff on YouTube. You can the fact that we complain about 5-second adverts or 30-second adverts just shows how spoiled we've already become.
Oh,
when back in the day, like I remember I'd be watching something and every 15 minutes you get a 4-minute advert, and you're like, this sucks, but there's nothing I can do about it. I'm gonna go pee. But now people are just so used to everything being instant access that 15 seconds. Oh, I can't believe I watched 15 seconds advert for this fucking video. Oh. It's like, yeah, but you didn't have to watch it, and you probably didn't really watch it. You're just typing that comment while the advert was popping up, and why didn't you go pee? Probably because you're already pooing as you're typing this comment. Because that's the day we live in. People can shit on the toilet whilst watching someone on YouTube putting their heart out doing something, and then they can leave a comment while it's still shitting, going, you fucking suck. Saying things that they never say to you in your face, like if you were in an elevator with them, you know? If that's the thing, whenever you read a negative comment, imagine someone saying that to you in a tight space in an elevator. Would that person ever say that? If not, then you know that that comment is worth nothing.
It's it comes back to like accessibility and obtainability. When you're watching videos like I'll just use myself as an example because I'm familiar with it. I post videos on YouTube. Whenever someone will leave a comment, like a fan, like someone who actually supports and enjoys my stuff, when they leave a comment either on Facebook, Twitter, or the video, I'm more often than not try to respond because I like to keep that type of like relationship with the fan base.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like when people put AdBlock on their shit, and it's like, man, I really, really like your videos, and I love that you're so down to earth that you can just sit down and talk to me like a person. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here actually like taking in your content, enjoying this work that you put time and care and love into. But you actually expect me to watch a 15-second ad and for you to get paid for it? Bullshit.
Fuck that shit.
I'm gonna make it so you can't even fucking get paid for the entertainment that you just gave me. It's like, it boggles my mind how many
Yeah.
people will switch on AdBlock and have no idea how, like, debilitating that is to some people. Like, for me,
Yeah.
I have a 9 to 5. Like, the videos, the podcast, all that, it's all, like, extracurricular, you know?
Right.
It's fun, it's, you know, a side thing. But, like, there are tons of people who their internet videos and their web series or whatever, that's their life. That's their only livelihood. That's the only money they're making is through YouTube and AdSense and all of that. So when you take that away, it's just like, how do you expect me to even continue to make this? This is what's keeping this show afloat.
Yeah.
But,
no, it's I don't know. I think it's the selfishness of why the fuck should I why should I pay? It started off with like, why should I pay for music, right? Why the fuck should I download that? And I'm totally behind that. I think music should be allowed to be downloaded for free. I feel like if you really want to support, you're gonna go support. If you want to pay for my tape, you'll pay for it. If you don't want to pay for it, you'll find a way to access it by not paying for it. That's why so far I've never really charged for anything. It was always pay however much you want if you want to pay to begin with. There was one EXO sampler we put out 3 years ago where it was $2. It cost $2, but in the description I explained to people how they can download it for free. I'm like, using this software, you can download this tape for free. And because to me it's like, if you really want to access my music and you're like, say you're a 13-year-old dude, you don't have a card, you don't have a PayPal, your mom is not home, your dad is not with your mom, he's with someone else, your sister sucks, I don't know, whatever your reason is, you can't pay for the music, that's fine, you know. But I never understood is like not being able to sit through a 15-second ad, even a 30-second ad, because it gives, I mean, I know YouTubers don't really talk about it, but like it barely gives you anything. It's like cents.
Oh yeah.
It's like just tiny fractions of a dollar, and it can make a difference for the artist, and it shouldn't really make a difference for the audience. So I don't know. I don't know how many people use AdBlock, because I don't really have any AdBlock.
A pretty vast majority of people do.
I like it how in some videos people would be like, oh, that ad before the video was long, and then like the next top comment would be like, hey guys, try installing this ad blocker, it helped. And it's like, wow, people are upvoting this shit. People
it helped you see my fucking shit faster. Ain't helping me.
It's like, man, I really like the content you're providing, but I'm not gonna really like support you, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna take. Maybe that the term content creator only works for the, you know, people who feed on this content. People who are like, oh, gimme, but I ain't giving nothing back. So it's, I don't know, man. It's curious, and I think maybe in the future people will figure out a better way. Like, cause YouTube always reinvents itself in the way that it pays its artists, right? Like, then they used to pay per like or something like that, and then they changed it to how long you watch a video or something for.
It used to be views, which back in the day you would have people who would create really short content, namely like animators who would they would spend months and months working on a cartoon, and the cartoon would maybe be 2 minutes, but they would get millions of hits on their cartoon, so they would get paid by hits. Now it's time watched. So
now it's time watched. So, and it doesn't count if it's under a minute. It doesn't count. And a lot of animators, a lot of animators make like 55-second long animations. And like, if you take into account, let's say there's only like 8 frames per second, the 8 times 60, drawing each single frame right there, and then getting like nothing. 8 times 59, and then getting nothing. It's ridiculous. I mean, the system really works. It seems like it really works for the gamer YouTubers, right? The ones that can put out 50 minutes of so-called content a day out there, and it really works for them. But for animators, I feel like there's now less incentive which really sucks, man, because that's how I got on the internet. It's my love for animation,
Yeah.
like Newgrounds. I wasn't even on the internet until like 2003. 2003, a friend showed me Newgrounds, and he was like, "Check this shit out." And he showed me a few stupid animations, a few stupid Flash games, and I was sold on the idea of internet.
Yeah.
That was my introduction to the internet. A few years later, 15-year-old Bill and Rav meet and hate each other, and a few years later they make music together, they make a label, and yeah. So I don't know. I owe animators quite a lot. I tried animating when I was younger too. Like it's hella fun and hella difficult. So I really respect people that do it. Yeah, and it's a shame that the system is not kind of working in their favor. I heard this is why like Game Grumps, like I heard that Aaron of the Game Grumps tells animators that whenever they send in animations for the Game Grumps
animated
like videos, right?
It needs
animated
to be over
things,
a minute.
It needs to be over a minute, otherwise like there's nothing to be made from that.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad he does that. On one hand, on the other hand, man, doesn't it like suck to be an animator to know that you have like a rule that you have to make this animation over? Like you have the joke, you've captured the joke in 30 or 40 seconds, and it's perfect. But then you have to
pad
add
it
20 superfluous seconds to it, you know. So it's
Whenever there's a rule or a guideline to what you're doing, it totally takes any of the incentive or enjoyment out of it. Like for YouTube, because YouTube is so rigged and Facebook is so rigged. Like we were talking about animators. Animators have gone from posting their stuff on YouTube to just posting it straight on Facebook. But the problem with that is that people will rip this shit off Facebook so easy, and then they'll repost it and not give credit to the original person, so now they're still not getting exposure. But with YouTube, it's so rigged to where, like, if you haven't posted anything for a minute, like a few weeks or whatever, and then you post something, it might not even show up in their subscription feed. Like, I've posted something, and people will just be like months later, be like, "Whoa, how have I not seen this?" It's like, I don't know. I have no idea how you didn't see it. Like, I posted ads for it on Facebook, but Facebook will bury your shit if you don't pay them.
Right? Yeah. No. We have like our EXO page has over 2,000 likes, and every time we post something, it reaches like 10%.
It's ridiculous.
Of old people or something. It's insane. And the thing is, like, at first I was in denial. I was like, wait, what? And this person was explaining to me, yeah, so you post something, and out of the 2,000 people that are following you, that Facebook will go and put it on 20 of those people's walls, like feeds or whatever, right? I'm like, but wait, I have way more than that. And they're like, yeah, but that's just the algorithm. Unless, of course, you're prepared to spend money. So the shitty algorithm is supposed to be an incentive to spend money. I don't hate Mark Zuckerberg, but I don't know why he thought that's a good idea. Or I'm sure he's heard people complaining about this, and he has more than enough money.
Oh yeah, it's totally a Walmart paying minimum wage when they're the biggest, most wealthy family in America, and they could afford to give more, but, let's not. I don't understand what the incentive for not making the content accessible to everyone is. I've posted ads for my new videos that I know normally get the most views, but because YouTube is so fucked, I gotta advertise it on Facebook first, but if I don't pay like $10 for it to reach like 1,500 people, like, hold on, like, I most recently actually did this for my most recent thing. I used a boost post, paid, I think it was either it was like $10 for only one day, for just a day, for almost 2,000 people to see it, and it didn't even reach 2,000 people even after that. It was just what? And like it didn't even help the video get more views anyway.
Oh yeah, sometimes I wonder if those numbers are just just numbers, you know,
Like, it
like
didn't even help. It's ridiculous.
no, yeah, it's it's like as if you're paying Facebook for fake views, like trying to get fake followers or something, you know.
Yeah, which is its own fucking thing.
The,
It's
the, the fact that
ridiculous.
people have that exists, you know, is interesting. I think it's really a sign of the times. Um, and I think people feel like a person's credibility is now based around the number of followers and likes that they have, which is, I don't know, quite interesting. I was wondering, what's your take on Patreon?
I really, really like Patreon. This is actually what it was gonna. I was gonna bring it back to because I think it was on our last show we were talking about someone like Kanye, who for a while there was, saying, "Hey, I'm in debt. I need all this money. Hey, Mark Zuckerberg, give me money. Hey, Bill Gates, give me money." And the CEO of Patreon actually just posted a video and was like, "Hey, when you're going out and you're asking Mark Zuckerberg to support your art, when you're asking all these people to support your art, that's what Patreon is. You post stuff and people pay if they want to." And he was trying to pitch Patreon to Kanye, basically.
Yeah.
And what you were saying earlier about if people want to pay for something, they're going to. And for someone like Kanye, who I don't know what kind of fan base he has these days, honestly. I don't know if it's out of irony. I don't know if there's people who seriously really, really enjoy the stuff he's putting out. I'm not saying, one way or another, but you have the fan base, but you're posting stuff exclusively on Tidal, for exclusive streams because you're not getting paid on Spotify. So you post it on this format that no one's using. Yeah. But if you were to post
it, he's getting paid even more to make it exclusive on Tidal.
And it's if you posted it on Bandcamp and just said hey, name your price, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would just.
But
take
you see,
it for
I think
free.
to him, I think I kind of applaud Kanye for doing that. I think his album was trash, and I'm not a big Kanye fan.
No, it wasn't good.
But I do appreciate that it wasn't trash. Okay, it was 5, 6 out of 10. All right, the beats were really cool. I don't like Kanye rap, but I like how he's like a kid with it. You know what I'm saying? Everything he does, he's as stubborn as a kid, and I really appreciate that in a sense because I think it's a dumbass move to do what he's doing with Tidal, but I think he should commit to it. Just because out of my curiosity how things are going to turn out, and I think it's I don't know, that's punk to me too. I like the mentality of no, fuck you, I'm gonna do stupid shit. I'm gonna do something that makes no fucking sense, and you're still gonna find a way to find my music.
Yeah, but as long as you're having fun doing what you're doing, that's really all that matters.
If he had a Patreon account though, he'd make that money, all that money that he needs to get himself out of debt so quick.
Oh yeah.
Which makes me wonder why he hasn't done it, and I'm also intrigued why he asked Mark Zuckerberg about the money when he was on Twitter. Why didn't he just post it on Facebook?
Because he doesn't know who the CEO of Twitter is, or else he would have.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I mean, you could have a Google search real quick, because I don't know, it's such a weird move. It's like me filming a video in at a Walmart, asking Target to sponsor me, then putting it on YouTube. Target sponsor me, and just huge Walmart letters behind me. It was really curious. I love that.
It's right across the street. You could have filmed it right there.
Yeah, it's why'd you go out your way to do that? You have just as many followers on Facebook. I
have a weird respect for Kanye, only because he does just I really respect the I don't fucking care attitude.
Yeah, that and the whole I feel like people get the wrong end of the okay, the fashion thing. I'm not very familiar with his fashion shit, and I don't care. I don't think you need to support his clothes to get the point he's making, and people think he's crazy to kind of go, hey, so just because I'm a rapper doesn't mean I can't do this other shit. And people are stuck on this thought of but you're already rich, as if all goals should be motivated by wealth, right? As opposed to feeling satisfied with yourself. Like, I feel like a person should go and pursue whatever they want to and not be defined by a single thing. And I do think hip hop, there's a specific bias against hip hop, and I do believe that his race plays a part as well, for sure. When has it not? You know,
Yeah.
and the people who deny it and stuff is just they're playing a part in that whole thing. Denial is even worse, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
To all the people who claim they're not racist, but claim that like people come on, we're all over this issue. Come on, man, get over it.
Yeah.
It's it, it's like if you go and kill someone's family and then 20 years later they bring it up and you're like, dude, come on, get over it. It was 20 years ago I killed your family. Man, I know I enslaved your daughter and made her suck my dick every day, but that was so long ago. Gosh, man, I'm a different me now.
Yeah.
Or and even if I don't know, man, solidarity goes a long way. Point is, it's curious to me how people think that you have to put people in boxes, rappers in boxes, artists in boxes, celebrities in boxes. I don't give a shit about celebrities, but I don't give just as equally I don't give a shit about the people across the street. You know,
Right.
I don't hate celebrities. I hate the media perpetuating different shit, and I dislike the people who make shit a bigger deal. I don't hate the artist or the person on the stage. I will hate the audience instead most of the time, right? I think that's the way to look at a lot of these issues. But I appreciate what Kanye's doing with that. Because, like, we have a rapper on EXO. His name is Rekcahdam.
Mm-hmm.
And he headlined a show at MAGfest.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a rapper, a video game developer, a drummer. He draws, he animates, he does everything. Like and I talk with this dude all the time, and he'll come up with something new and go and do it. Like there's never a thought of like, can I do it? He just goes, yo, that would be cool to do. All right, let me go find out how to do it.
Wow.
He's a brilliant game developer, and he's a brilliant drummer and a brilliant rapper, and he's not like trying to define himself with a single term. Like when you ask him, he's not gonna give you some sort of like Pokemon like title. You know, like when you play around Pokemon, you go around it's like youngster Joey.
Yeah.
It's like that's what the media is trying to do with rapper Kanye.
Yeah.
And that's it. You're just a rapper. You have to wear a baseball cap. You have to have those shoes right there, and all your Pokemon have to always be poison.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, it's really stupid and two-dimensional to kind of look at people that way.
I was wondering about that whole thing because I was surprised how your boys got that show at MAGfest in the first place, because I had like there were people who were there who were talking about like needing a spot to open up, and then I heard after the fact, because they didn't promote the show nearly as well, because I would have been there if I knew it was happening, but I had no idea. But like I'm pretty sure something like the video game developer, I think that was probably pretty crucial, because
that plays a part. Yeah, and it's just also by association. He's been in that, like, okay, he makes some of the music for Steven Universe.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, he's the drummer on Steven Universe, so he occasionally provides shit there, where he's friends with all the people. Like he's friends with a lot of people, I guess, from that camp. You know,
Wow,
like
okay.
Ivy Tran and her husband. Then he is a indie game developer, and he has a game he's currently developing. It should be released sometime this year. And it's genius. It's revolutionary. You're gonna see it. It's phenomenal. It's called Band Saga. It had a successful Kickstarter campaign a couple years ago, and I don't know. I suggest people look into that. It's exciting as fuck.
What was the name of it again?
Band Saga.
Okay.
It's a roguelike game, and I know that term puts a lot of people off, but it's amazing. The levels are I don't know all the terminology behind like these games, which I should know because I'm a game tester. But whatever. The game, the levels are based on the music. you know. So
Oh
whatever
shit.
the music is, you can make your own music in the game, and that will make a level. Uh,
Oh
it's
wow.
they're generate the levels are generated off of the music. So it's not only is it a really good video game, it's actually a piece of music software. It's quite impressive. You have to look into it. I don't have it in front of me right now, and I'm a bit of a scatterbrain, but it's something. I'll
Yeah,
tell you.
I'm looking at the Kickstarter page now, and I saw that there was a video on YouTube. I guess that'll give people an idea. I really love the fucking art on this.
Yeah, the
On
art is
this.
great. It's a two-man team. He's developing
God.
the whole game. He's writing the whole story. He's making all the music, and there's this other guy who's doing all the artwork.
That's insane.
And it's incredible. I'm really looking forward to it. And besides that, he also used to go around tour with Disaster Piece, um, who made the music for Fez.
Oh, okay.
Uh, so he was kind of known as Disaster Piece's drummer for a while.
Hmm.
Um, so, and he built his way up from being known as that to like getting to where he is. And before that, he was a prominent like hacker. That's why his name's Rekcahdam. If you read it
Oh.
backwards, it's Mad Hacker.
Oh shit.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, and I don't know, like he's an inspiration to me because I've never seen him reach an obstacle that he didn't think he could overcome. And his life's not easy by any means. Um, he's like the hardest working person I know, and he's like a little Kanye in
Mm.
our crew because he's the one who like he'll do anything, which is cool because it makes me go like, well, I like drawing. I want to develop games maybe. I want to do this shit, and I also want to rap, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have to be amazing at all those things, but I can be amazing at all those things.
Yeah, it goes back to the up and comer that we were talking about before. A lot of people ask like, "How do I get into this? How do I get into this?" And it's cliche, and people might not.
You get into it, yeah. That's
Yeah,
it.
like a lot of people might be looking for a deeper answer, but seriously, it's do it, try it, see how
Yeah,
you like it. Like
I
if you enjoy it, keep doing it.
I bet you get this all the time. People asking you, "How did you start?" Right? What do I do? What do I do? I get this all the time. What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
What software should I get? I I don't like that question because the software doesn't matter. It doesn't
No.
matter what you record your vocals on. It doesn't matter what camera you record your shit with, as long as I'm gonna use the word content here, but
Mm-hmm.
in a different way. As long as the content of whatever you are making uh, is interesting or is good or is real or honest or whatever, provocative, whatever it is, as long as it's you, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you're going to record your vocals in Adobe Audition or Pro Tools.
Mm.
If you can get to know FL better than you get to know Logic. You can get to know uh, some knockoff Photoshop software better than Photoshop. Whatever works for you. It doesn't matter what kind of paper you draw on. And people ask like, how do you get good at doing this? Is the easiest answer is by caring. If you
Yeah.
care enough, you'll get better. If you think you can't get better, that's when you've probably lost. I don't think I've never been complacent with my rapping abilities. I've never been like, man, I'm good. Where I am now, I'm happy with that. I've never been happy with what I make. I'm happy enough to know that I enjoyed it and I
Mm-hmm.
love doing it and I want to make more. I always have this. I don't like listening to my old music or even really playing old music for people in person because I'm
Mm.
like, every time I play it, I'll be like, but yeah, this new song I'm working on is 10 times
Yeah.
better. Or
Mm-hmm.
like this new shit I got in my head, it's much better. Cause like, and as long as I have that in my head, as long as I know how I can improve myself, uh, I think I'll always enjoy doing it, and I'll always get better. And the moment uh, you think you can't get any better is the moment you hit this illusionary ceiling, and got to take a break or something.
That's why there's two sides to like when rappers like for example Lil Wayne from back in the day would say, I'm the greatest rapper alive or whatever. It's like, on one side, I respect that you have such a high thought, like such a high perception of what you're doing, because if you didn't think you were the best, you probably wouldn't do it. You know, like, you need to put yourself on that pedestal to keep that, I guess, the illusion going or the facade going, so people will see that and they'll look up to you. But yeah, there should always be some type of sense of self-improvement, always wanting to get better. So it's like when
a lot of people gave Wayne shade for that, right? Because I feel like a lot of people. That's the thing is, every rapper will know this. When you're in the booth, when you hit record, and you're really feeling the moment, and you're feeling yourself, you do feel like you are the center of the universe. Like, you feel like a Super Saiyan. You feel like you are the best. You might be making the most mediocre song ever, but like, that moment feels so real, and it's just this true youth and happiness rolled into one. And I think Wayne really captured it when he said something as like big-headed as that. And it's interesting because I feel like it worked for him. I think he went, "I'm the greatest rapper alive," and everyone just went, "Yeah, okay," because like nobody was like, "No, fuck you, man." Like, no one good enough there to argue with him. And it doesn't even matter if you liked his music at the time or you didn't. I feel like you had to appreciate the Stones, so to speak.
Oh yeah, I mean, it really just makes a lot of people go like, "Oh yeah, well, let me listen to it." Like, even if they like didn't want to originally.
Like, let me find out. Yeah, let me find out. Right? Yeah, dope, huh? You think you're nice with it? All right.
It worked on. Yeah, it definitely worked on people in some way.
Yeah, no, it did. And
whether or not they liked it afterwards, it's like you still listen to it. So.
Yeah, it was his golden era too. He made some of his best music at the time. And it's unfortunate that the name Lil Wayne became synonymous with mediocrity and like what's bad about mainstream music.
It happened so fast.
When I don't know. I feel like Wayne gets a lot more disrespect than someone like Eminem, whom in my opinion, Eminem, he has contributed some great music for sure. And when it comes to his technicality, it's very impressive. Clearly, he knows his shit. But in terms of like just pure creativity, I think he's a pretty subpar artist. But because he has so many supporters, because part of this is true, because he is white, he was able to sell a lot more records. If anyone who says Eminem didn't sell as many records as he did partially because he's white is in denial.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot easier. It's the same reason people don't understand why he's compared with Elvis, because Elvis wasn't the. People are like, man, he was the first to do this. He was the first. No, Elvis is great, and you don't have to hate Elvis to know that he wasn't the first to do it. Look at the shit he grew up on.
Yeah.
Those people are doing the exact same thing. You could argue even better. Their fault, well, their skin color.
Yeah.
They weren't white. They weren't marketable. Elvis comes along, he's marketable. Same with Eminem. He was the most marketable artist at the time. And now times are changing because you have unfortunate artists like G-Eazy. You have artists like Igloo Australia, and you got you got a lot of different variations. But if you look at the G-Eazys and Macklemores, you see it's like this kind of pop rap appeal. Which, again, I'm not hating on the artist. I'm just saying this is where the audience is going, and you can tell. Yeah. And to deny that skin color is playing a part is, I don't know, it's kind of like holding your eyes closed and going, nah, not true, nah. I don't know.
It's definitely true. When I was in 8th grade, I remember, it was either like 7th or 8th grade, and I've never listened to rap before. Like, I just was not a rap fan. Yeah. But living in New Jersey, in a 99% white classroom, one day, just out of nowhere, these kids started talking about Eminem and talking about how great Eminem was, and all the reciting the lyrics of songs off Slim Shady LP and shit.
Yeah.
And like, I knew they were listening to rap for a while, but I'll admit full-heartedly that when I was that age, and I found out that there was a white rapper who was doing shit, I would be lying if I said that like that to me wasn't a selling point. Because when you're in that bubble, and it's like you almost are brainwashed to think that rap isn't for you. And
Yeah, no, he was super marketable. Like he looked pretty young, even though he was technically old for a rapper when he started blowing up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like it's weird, right? I guess I'm pretty old for a rapper. Fuck me. But like that's depressing. But no, he was a good looking, or like not good looking, but kind of like okay looking, which I think played in his favor.
Oh yeah, definitely.
White dude who had a story that a lot of white people related to. And a lot of the more wealthy white people who didn't relate to that aspect of his music related to his skin. They thought, yeah, I liked Ice Cube, I liked Q-Tip, I liked Nas, but until I heard Eminem, I didn't think I could do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious as to why Beastie Boys didn't have the same effect on the masses, because I feel like Beastie Boys made infinitely more creative music, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely.
I think it was really revolutionary, and especially their later records. Everybody always talks about their first record, but their later projects were really where, like, I feel like they discovered themselves. That shit was tied to me. And then, and different. There's lots of songs I still like from like the '90s era and early 2000s, but I just remember growing up, and when M came out, it's like you'll have these kids who claim they love hip hop, and then when you look at their CD collection or cassette collection, all they had was Eminem.
Yeah.
And then right next to their Eminem cassette, they'd have a Limp Bizkit cassette. Yeah. They'd have a Linkin Park cassette, maybe even an Evanescence cassette, right? Like, it was that's a 2001 teenager starter pack right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like Eminem just filled that void for the white market that nobody else was really filling. Like, he was the Limp Bizkit of hip hop, or he was I don't know. But he was good. That's the difference between him and a lot of other people, I guess, is he was technically good. So the people like KRS-One and people like I feel like people like Nas, people like Rekcahdam, they would still appreciate him because they'd be like, well, he knows what he's doing, right? Like, yeah, I can see from this standpoint, I can see that he's technically good, but the majority of Eminem's fans, they don't understand these technicalities and polysyllabic rhymes and wordplays. They just know it sounds accessible. Guy's white. And he's talking about drugs and fuck you, mom, and that's what my life is. I don't like my mom, because they can't relate to a dude talking about selling crack to feed his kids, or talking about how 6 of his homies got shot last week. That's just not relatable to white America.
It was so hard to, in the late, I guess like 2009, 2010, when M was doing like Relapse and Recovery, to try to talk about Slim Shady LP to people, because people would just be like, yeah, whatever. That
Just
whack.
Don't Give a Fuck is one of M's best songs of all time.
People don't appreciate the crazy amount of in rhymes and shit like that he was doing on that fucking album. It's so good. Like, even now, there's still songs in that where I'll just listen to it now. Half of that album isn't that great, but there's a handful of songs on Slim Shady LP, and maybe you can combine Slim Shady LP and Marshall Mathers LP, make one like really solid album out of the two of them. But people like, well, I like his, he's doing imitations of people. I like his funny stuff. And it's like, it's not, though. It's like, you can't really be like, oh yeah, I'm an Eminem fan, or it's just like, I like novelty shit. Like, just say that.
I don't know. Although I do feel like the Relapse Recovery is the last time I played it, just because I got really tired of him. But it's interesting to me, the difference between Relapse Recovery was so vast.
Yeah.
the negative reception of relapse, and that's when I feel like Eminem just kind of almost publicly admitted that he cares about how he's perceived by the masses, because relapse was better than recovery, but recovery did better than relapse. So Eminem was like, all right, I'll do recovery kind of stuff. But that might be also because of his age, and he wants to validate his existence by being cool with these, 15-year-old white girls and 14-year-old Call of Duty YouTubers.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. I might be sounding like I'm hating, but that's his market, and I think he's perfectly fine with that. That's why he's been sponsored by Call of Duty, like God knows how many times, right?
Yeah. I think
it's
that's
like he's very aware, I think.
Oh yeah. He definitely knows his audience now.
Yeah.
I guess I could work it as a good segue to this unruly mess I've made. The new album by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. I asked Rav to check out this album beforehand so we could have a little discussion about the album. Boy, oh boy!
I checked it out.
Here's a question: what did you think of the heist?
I thought, oh man, this is pop rap done like very well and clean. Not like pop rap is my least favorite genre, but I thought it was done very well. I thought it was very precise, and it sounded very clean and glittery. It sounded like the whatever would vintage of the pop, something that's very easily promoted and released, which is funny because they released it independently, right?
Yeah.
But the amount of money they even though they were independent, I believe I heard from somewhere that they had Warner Brothers like give them a whole lot of money to go and make their videos and stuff.
That is possible. I haven't looked that up, but I would believe that because those videos look really good.
Oh no, they're so well made, right? And that's very much part of the package. You can't say thrift shop without thinking about all those music videos. They played a big part. You can't talk about the heist otherwise. So I thought it was good in the realm that it occupied, but it's definitely not my cup of tea. I kind of hate that type of music, but I'm okay with other people liking it. I just think it's ass, personally.
Yeah, the heist was distributed by Alternative Distribution Alliance, which is an arm of Warner Music Group. So he released it under Macklemore LLC, but then it was distributed by an arm of Warner. So that's how
right. So it's
down
basically
so much.
I can make an independent album and then have Bill Gates give me $2 billion, and I can put it out and be like, that was independent. I mean, Bill Gates gave me a whole lot of money, but that was independent. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was disingenuous too, like that one song where what did he say? When I was 4, thought I was gay because I could draw. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? That's not how you think you're gay. At no point, whoever like discovers that they might be, I don't know what the fluid than they thought they were or whatever, by going, damn, I drew a really nice car. Fuck, am I gay? Like, no, wait, am I gay? Because I'm like really good at drawing. Fuck. I mean, Michelangelo was good at drawing and he was gay. That means I'm gay, right? Like,
I never thought of that because
man.
I've always defended that song because it's like, you know what, at least he's, at least he is tackling this issue. I never thought of that line in particular.
Oh, dude, you should
and
look
how
it
doesn't make any sense.
There's like the SoundCloud song, which is only like 20 seconds long, and it's that the acapella taken from that intro and thrown on top of the Lose Yourself intro, like where Eminem's talking, but instead of Eminem, it's him like when I was 4, and it's perfect. It fits so perfect. And this is the same issue I have with Macklemore on this record. the two issues I have with him is it seems like this guy is smart, right? But it's for some reason everything that comes out of his mouth sounds so calculated to me that is disingenuous. Like he felt like he needed to make a song, what is it called? Same Love, right? On the previous album.
Yeah.
Where he explored a subject matter not often explored in hip hop. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But just because he did doesn't mean he did it well, in my opinion. It's an important subject matter, and it's the first time someone in the mainstream hip hop world did it. But like the approach just sounded so patronizing.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing on this record. All the sad songs or the serious songs, they always have. I think Ryan Lewis's production makes it worse by like it's got this Hollywood factor. The sad music comes in to let us know that we should be sad. The goofy music and voice comes out, so we know we should laugh. It's kind of like spoon feeding emotion.
Oh yeah.
And he's definitely like that. Like oh, let me tell you how sad I am, but let me tell you about this shit. Oh, I'm so fucked up. I did this, I did that. Do you still like me? Like that's what it like. I imagine if at the that's what he thinks at the end, and maybe he just crosses out of his notepad at the end of every song. Do y'all still like me? Do you like me more? It's like he seeks approval. I feel like it's very filtered, his music, through like a lot of thought and like self perception, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what I don't like about it. And even his goofy songs, they always have this like the goofy music comes out, the goofy voice comes out. It's all over the top, and I don't like to be told how I should feel right off the bat. I like to explore music. I don't want to be I want to be taken for a ride, but I don't want to be like I don't want to have emotion shoved up my ass.
Oh yeah.
And go like, oh, yo, do you hear those piano keys? Do it make you sad? Let me talk about race issues real quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my issue with him.
I dug the heist because again it's just different tastes or whatever. I don't mind the pop rap so much if it's
done well.
If it's done well, and
it's definitely better than Iggy Azalea for sure. Like he knows how.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, yeah.
I will say that. I don't know where she got off back in the day calling her and Macklemore the king and queen of hip hop.
Oh, did she actually do that?
Yeah. I don't know.
Come on, that's gotta be like a fake tweet or something, right? Because like, come on, man, that's like asking for trouble.
It was totally glazed over too. Like that got like no like controversy. She just said that, and people just like, yeah, okay, whatever.
That's so weird and random. It's like if Taylor Swift came out and said, "Hi, Bieber and I are kings and queens of Africa." It's like, what?
It's like,
what the fuck are you talking
about? Who nominated you for that?
Who decides that kind of shit? What? Is that a real occupation?
Yeah,
so,
like
no.
Even is. Oh yeah. I'd like.
She's a special snowflake.
I appreciated songs on the heist more than I did on this new album. I thought songs like Same Love had I thought it was a catchy song, maybe not the most well written. Songs like Wings I think is still
Wings.
one that
Wings was good. I liked Wings.
Wings didn't get talked about nearly as much as it should have. It didn't get nearly enough credit because it wasn't, the big poppy, dance track like Can't Hold Us or Thrift Shop. There was one track on there. Fuck, I don't remember the name of it, but it was a song about like breaking into the record label to like get your single on the guy's desk. And it was and the end of the song was all about like how he was being like fucked over by money. It was like, all right, cool. That gives us like an insight on what it's like to be an independent and why you chose that. There was personality on that album, and I guess it didn't hurt that he was so new, or at least new to us, because I know he was putting stuff out since like 2009, but we didn't hear any of that.
Right.
Now that we're well familiar with who Macklemore is, what kind of stuff he's gonna give us, I was so monumentally let down by this album.
Oh, yeah?
Like, you have no damn idea. I never put Macklemore on a pedestal. Like, I never considered him the king of rap, unlike, you know, Iggy Azalea
Really?
may claim. I wouldn't put him in a top 5, but songs like Downtown, I thought that was catchy for, you know, a pop thing. But boy, oh boy, how the fuck Dance Off is apparently a single?
Oh, really?
I don't know what. That's a single.
Dance Off is the single. Are you kidding me? I thought, but nah, it can't be. It was bad.
Dance Off is. It was released in Australia as the album's second single back in February. Here in America, I think only Downtown is like the Downtown and Growing Up, the track with Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, and White Privilege too had some buzz just because of the subject matter, right? I didn't like Dance Off. I mean, I didn't like any of these songs, but like
I really
Dance
didn't
Off,
either.
I Dance Off I really didn't like. I like how the album started. Light Tunnels, it kicks off, and I thought like, okay, sounds like it's a lot of people worked on mixing here. It sounds very polished and Hollywoody already, and the pianos are in. But the beat was progressing, like it changed towards the last verse, I think, and he was talking about, like, I like Macklemore's wit in a sense, like the way in the delivery that he does it with, it always sounds like he's got a character to him, and that song sounded interesting, and I kind of expected at the end some a mention. Like a Kendrick mention of some sort?
Yeah, it totally felt like, when he was talking about how he got the album and how, like, I was expecting a mention of those, like, apology tweets for beating Kendrick that year.
Yeah, I expected something like, oh man, Good Kid, Mad City was so good. His shit was so hard, my shit is no wood. Like, I expected some really corny shit, so I'm glad he didn't bring Kendrick into the conversation. Then Downtown kicked in, and I was like, that makes sense that he puts it on there because that's the big song. That's the one, even if you never listened to the tape, if you've ever went outside and shopped somewhere, you've heard that song.
I really love Eric Naley. I love his vocals. I've listened to some other stuff he's done.
Yeah.
He's got an amazing voice. The band Foxy Shazam, that's on a hiatus right now. Like, he's got a really amazing voice, and I thought it added a lot to that, and I thought it was cool having...
it sounded kind of Michael Jackson inspired. Some of the vocal inflections on there,
And how he's got the old school guys on that track, I thought that was, a nice nod.
Okay. That was the reason I checked the music video back in the day to begin with, because I was like, yo, he got Kool Mo D and Melly Mel, like, that's tight. I don't know, that was tight to me, and then I peeped it, and I was kind of expecting their own separate verses, but they just had like a Super Saiyan Fusion.
That was weird.
But I mean, it worked, I guess, or whatever. It's clearly a pop rap song. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't throw this in the same playlist as New York State of Mind without it sounding weird during the transition, right?
Yeah.
And if you think it's an unfair comparison because it's an early 90s song, you can take a modern day Ghostface Killah song, a modern day Doom song, A$AP Rock song, any good rapper song, and throw it in the same mix as Macklemore. The Macklemore one will not sound like it's actually hip hop when you have something
in that context. Hell no, definitely not.
Yeah. And then, of course, the highlight comes in with Brad Pitt's cousin.
Can I just ask you how much you wanted to stop at that point? I was like, about to just be like, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah, I was going to just stop there and improvise, act like I heard the rest of the tape. The only reason I don't think we should even talk about Brad Pitt's cousin.
Why was it so high on the album? Why was it so early?
Maybe he thought somebody will like it, but it's so early on in the list. Maybe people forget about it. I don't know. Oh my god! The only reason I continued to listen is for the next song because I saw KRS-One was on it.
KRS-One and DJ Premier. I was like, holy shit! Again, he's got the big names, and
that's what it is, though. Doesn't it seem like he's trying to validate himself again, like, hey y'all, look at all these old school geniuses and guys that I'm rapping with. That's right, I got street cred, y'all.
Look at the
Like,
amazing company I'm in. I got KRS-One, I got DJ Premier, I got Chance the Rapper, I got Cool Mo D, and it's like,
yeah.
please take me seriously.
Yeah, so if your friends say, you know that one friend you have who says he listens to good hip hop music and he says I suck? Well, you should tell him I made a song with KRS-One and see what he says because KRS-One is good. And if I'm rapping with KRS-One, that's good. It validates my existence in the sphere of hip hop music. I mean, right? Do you like me?
Do you still like me?
Do you still like me?
And then they're gonna listen to Buckshot, and then they're gonna realize, wow, you couldn't have misused KRS-One.
Yeah.
Or used him to a lesser degree. It was such a waste!
Yeah. I mean, one good thing, though, for sure, the beat did have, like... Again, the beat sounded a little too polished for me. Like, I don't like the polished sounds of these things just because I come from, like... I like to use... for it to be as clear as possible. It's part of the reason why, like, Dre's last record, the Compton soundtrack or whatever.
Yeah.
It had such good verses, it had such good beats, but I can't really listen to that album more than once or twice in my life because it's just too clean. It's like I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I'm gonna throw up soap when I listen to it.
I understand.
It just sounds so polished. I imagine 60 people were working on every second of the song.
And you'd like to think it's more personal than that.
That's it. That's kind of it, because hip hop is like one of the most personal genres out there in music. Because unlike like metal and rock, which I love to listen to, hip hop you have to fit in so many words into a song that even if you don't want to be personal, you're going to be personal. Even if you're talking about just cars, chicks, and things like that, it's an insight into how shallow you are, perhaps, but it's still an insight into who you are.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to reveal shit about yourself and a lot harder to not be personal when you're rapping. But when you have production that sounds so like when you spend $60 million on each song, you kind of don't look at that song as personal, especially when the song is trying to be personal, but it sounds so big.
Yeah, especially with a song like Buckshot, where it's supposed to be like a nod to old school, especially to the point where you even have KRS-One on the track to really force the whole point that this is supposed to be an old school.
Scratches.
Yeah, and it still sounds so new.
One of the highlights, though. If there are highlights to this tape, I'd say Buckshot has a highlight.
Yeah, I'm looking down the rest of the album, and yeah, there really is not anywhere to go from there.
Honestly, I think it kind of goes downhill for the most part. It kind of starts to jump around between, alright, so this is serious. My friend died a while back from drugs. But, yo, let me talk about my dick on this song. Alright,
yeah.
Right, y'all. Okay, back to the subject matter of drugs. Then there's like, weren't there like 3 songs in a row where he just talked about prescription drugs? Which is tight, right? I mean, like, I've talked about prescription drugs before too, but it just didn't seem like it was going anywhere. At first, when the first song comes in, he talks about like losing his homie to prescription drugs and how prescription drugs are kind of like the biggest menace of a drug in America these days and all that. And I'm like, yeah, bring it up. That's a thing to talk about. And then he's like, yeah, that's fucked up. All right, new song. Yo, you know what? Prescription drugs are fucked up. And then the next song's like, you know what's fucked up? Prescription drugs. And I'm like, cool, man. I can tell you're running out of like ideas. Like, I feel like it's really scripted in the sense that he looked at what made Heist work. Well, I have some of these songs that address issues other people don't talk about. I had this personal song about like drugs, or I did a drug addiction, and then I had these silly songs. And that's exactly what this tape brings. It's got these silly songs, it's got the drug songs, and it's got its own Same Love song. It's just called White Privilege too.
Yeah.
Where he's trying to, again, either be controversial or like he's trying to convince us he's a good guy by telling us how bad he feels about, like, damn, I used the system, and I didn't even realize it, but realize it. And it's strange for me to talk about it because I feel like it's an important issue. It's one of the most important issues to me as hip hop artist.
Mm-hmm.
I owe it all to black culture. I wouldn't be the person I am. I wouldn't be as happy in my life as I am, if it weren't for Q-Tip, if it weren't for Nas.
Right.
If it weren't for the people before them who inspired hip hop, if it weren't for the soul artists, the blues artists, I owe it all to people who do not share the same color as me.
Mm-hmm.
And by partaking in this culture, I feel like I have to do it justice and show my respect at the same time. And yet I also am aware of the fact that I have certain privileges, not because I'm not black, right? So like I have a lot of privileges. I can't get away with a lot of things, and I think quite a lot of us rappers feel that way. The way he presented it was almost like he really thought about how to put it in a way where people would pity him. Like, oh no, Macklemore, not a bad guy, man. Shit, who's up in there, man? You know? Or it's like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's because again the production is so clean, and I'm used to Macklemore coming across as disingenuous to me. But even that song, there's aspects of it that came across as disingenuous. I'm sure that he used every word that he said on there, as he totally should.
Yeah.
But it's just something about him that just screams, please love me, please accept me, because I've realized I was wrong, I've realized this, I've realized that, and blah. And people, I guess what doesn't help is a lot of people were like, damn, the first one, nobody did that before. And then to bring Eminem back into the conversation, he had a song called White America, which did the exact same thing, and it didn't talk down to the people. It didn't have to every time he raps about a serious subject, it sounds like he's treating his audience as if they were like 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like, let me explain to you what I did and why that was bad, and then let me tell you what is the right thing to do. And that's why I'm doing that thing, because it's the right thing to do. And I'm just kind of like, again, I'm not a huge Eminem fan, but what he said on White America was, I thought, a lot more blunt, it communicated more or less the same thoughts in far fewer words, or at least the song was a lot shorter than this goddamn song.
Yeah.
This song felt like a fucking goddamn movie, bro, and not in a good way, not like a Kendrick Lamar movie, right?
Yeah.
It just dragged on, and then at the end he threw in poetry. I'm a huge fan of stand-up poetry, but I felt like, I don't know, it just felt a little forced. It's so many verses.
See,
I don't know.
See, like, I really, when I first saw that he dropped this single, I was like, oh shit, Macklemore is singing a song about white privilege, and I listened to it, and it was about like almost 9 minutes, and it was a thing. Like, it was just a thing. You sat down and you listened to it. In no way was it ever a track where you would go back and listen to it again.
Yeah, no.
And
no, not front to back.
I would not have expected it to be on the album. I thought it was just a download thing, that it was so important, it was just a message that needed to be put out there. You know, like, people aren't you know, they're not addressing that white privilege exists. White privilege has kind of become a joke for some people, but it's something people really need to own up to. And then when I saw that it was on the album, I was like, what the fuck is that doing here? It didn't feel right.
No, it didn't. And I don't understand that either. It felt like it was kind of just shoved onto there. You're like, oh, people talk about this song, so that might be a selling point as well. It's a really curious choice to put it at the end of the album as well, after having all these like well-respected hip hop names on the thing to maybe kind of be like, yeah, I know I came out with like a lot of music like this, and I know I've kind of ignored the Black Lives Matter issue for the most part, but this is how I really feel though, and you love me, right?
I think he
Like,
could have summed it up in like a verse on a
do you think it'll
song.
change anything? Do you think his audience uh will change their opinion? I
Mm,
feel like the same people who are gonna vote for Hillary Clinton listen to Macklemore. And what I mean by that is these people who honestly think they're these awesome liberal people
mm-hmm.
who are like, for we stand for what's right, and uh, bad is bad and good is good, and then that's it. They never like go further than that. They're just kind of scratch at the surface,
Yeah.
and then they don't really read into what Bernie Sanders is about. And he's like the genuine version of what they actually want, but they don't even know what they really want. If we could vote for a president on the internet,
Oh yeah.
Bernie Sanders would win.
Oh god, it wouldn't
But
even be a contest.
it wouldn't be a contest, and that's sad because, and I really hope Bernie wins. It's sad. It just shows that most of the people who think they're in the right or want the right thing aren't willing to go and get the right thing done.
The only thing that we were talking about actually, and we didn't really ever get to talk about this on the podcast because I don't know. I guess there've just been more primaries since we have started talking on the podcast, and maybe we've had some weeks off. But
Yeah,
something we've noticed, especially with our own people, because our early voting in North Carolina started about a week or two ago,
mm,
and it was then when we realized exactly why people who will tweet, hashtag feel the burn, and all this for
yeah,
Bernie, and then you look at the turnout, and it's not
yeah,
it doesn't reflect like, wow, if everyone who was on Twitter and talking about Bernie on Facebook actually went out and voted, it wouldn't, it would be a landslide.
yeah,
But what we're realizing is that even though, I mean, we went to Bernie's rally in Charlotte yesterday,
yeah.
we looked around.
Oh, good.
There
Yeah,
were a considerable amount of young people there, but it wasn't just young people. But when people, look at Bernie's,
yeah,
fan base, they always just, his supporters, they just assume, it's a bunch of young, like college kids or whatever. And
yeah,
while it is kind of an untapped, well, I know Ron Paul back in the day, he kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
he lit the fire under that age group, and Obama to an extent. But what I think Bernie didn't intend on relying on young people to vote, but when you think of most people that would, you automatically assume like, wow, he's got the young vote, they're gonna go out. But what we've
yeah.
realized is that what a lot of these kids, and I don't mean to say kids because that sounds like being like belittling
You're
here,
looking down, but no, I get what you're saying.
is that
The
like
youth.
a lot of these people are if you go to a convention and you look at people in this age range, you'll know a lot of these people are typically very anxious. They can be very socially anxious, very afraid of like public places like this, and they might feel intimidated by something like a polling station, like
Right,
especially with states with North Carolina where depending on when you go, the laws can be, you need this, you need to have this, or people can turn you away. And there's states that have specific
right.
laws where if
So,
you don't have this, they could turn you away, and people are afraid of the confrontation and they don't want to
so
do this.
you think it's the difficulty of getting your vote, and is kind of making people kind of second have second thoughts about like, should I go vote? Well, probably my vote won't really matter that much. What's one less vote?
Oh,
And then you have
definitely.
like thousands of people thinking
They
that,
all think the
and that's
exact
pretty
same
much what's
thing.
wrong with with the thing, because like voting is a privilege, especially in a country like America, and it's if you're not voting, you can't speak about politics. You can't complain next year when Trump is in charge.
Yeah.
Um, if you didn't vote, you can't complain about Trump.
Right.
That's a lot. I'm gonna say, you have to vote, and but the thing is, I strongly believe that within the next 20 years, the voting system is going to change, and people will be able to somehow vote online.
See,
Cause
Yeah,
It
definitely.
has to progress that way. It has to, because everything is going towards efficiency and convenience. With like everything from entertainment, right, to the way we shop. So why wouldn't it also apply with voting?
Mm-hmm.
As long
Yeah.
as they can make a system where no one can abuse it. That's it. That's the thing they'll have to reinforce. But I don't
Yeah,
think it's
no one can
impossible.
tamper with the votes.
Right, not to have someone DDoS a page or someone to hack into someone's uh, page and add like 6 million votes to Trump
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. So yeah, as long as we figure that out, I think that would be better. Uh, it's kind of sad that people don't go out to vote, but if that's what it takes to get everyone's opinion in, I feel like that would be a more accurate representation of um, how people feel
Yeah,
uh, about everything.
if like groups of friends went, like either you had somebody bring you there, like somebody you trusted, either like a guardian or a friend or a sibling who you could trust, bring you there and make you feel comfortable. I think more people would do that. If yeah, if it was definitely just more convenient, I'm sure a lot of people would. And I know the old joke a few years ago was that more people voted on the finale of American Idol than they did. They went out and voted for president. But it's like
Yeah,
you can vote via text. It's like,
yeah,
well, yeah, of course people did because they didn't even need to leave the couch. They could just do it right there. But I'm thinking with what's so great, if you're gonna find a silver lining with this election, is even if Bernie doesn't get the nomination, it's brought such an attention to this generation to really bring awareness to politics.
yeah,
Someone like that spoke to him on a level that they are now getting a glimpse of exactly how corrupt things are. They have a better idea as to how things how things actually do get changed. It is via people standing up,
yeah,
actually creating a form of revolution and actually getting things done for themselves and not just waiting for things to get fixed for them. That
yeah.
he
That's so true. Yeah,
like if he doesn't get the nomination, I have a really strong feeling that I remember at first I heard Killer Mike say, "We're all going to be sitting around if Bernie doesn't get the nomination. We're going to be sitting around 20 years from now wondering why we wasted such a great opportunity with Bernie." But I seriously think he's brought such an awareness and he's awakened so many people to this mindset that if he doesn't get it, it's just going to create a new generation of people like him and people of that mindset.